Hello and welcome. I'm Stefanie from Empowered Roots. Full moon blessings. It is a full moon, even though I'm sitting here in this beautiful sun. If you're not in a sunny place, it's so amazing. I live in the South, so I think it's probably 80 degrees today. I don't know. Um, anyway, I felt drawn to come and talk to you guys today, share a little bit of love and wisdom and some things that are coming up for me, and maybe they will resonate with you also. Today is the full moon, as I mentioned. It's full moon in Cancer. Um, so there's so many beautiful things along with that, but there's also some things happening that I've noticed in my own life and kind of channeled through. Um, there's a lot happening in the world right now. We all know that, and it's bringing up a lot of it's sacral chakra energy, which is also related to that watery energy of Cancer. So there's a lot of emotions coming up, a lot of fear, a lot of turbulence, what appears to be chaos coming up in our lives. And for me also, it has definitely done that. There's been a lot of emotions and a lot of things that have come up. What that's really doing, they're kind of like they're soul storms. What that's doing is it's allowing its creation's wisdom of needing those storms, that water, to come forth so that we can begin to release a lot of those things that are no longer necessary or are not serving us or what we really want to create in our lives, in the world, and who we want to be. And man, all the emotions. So I'll kind of share with you a little bit, and maybe this resonates with you. Yesterday in particular, I um, had a lot of emotional stuff happening, even though it was beautiful weather, and so I really took a lot of time in introspection and self-reflection to see what was going on, what that was coming up, because I felt a lot of blockages in the solar plexus area, which is our power center. It's also when we have blocks there, it's a feeling of powerlessness, and sometimes when we feel that right here, and it feels like there's a block there. There's a block in the heart that's asking to be released, which is usually emotional. Um, and what was really coming up for me yesterday, and maybe some of you guys are experiencing that too, and maybe this can kind of help you, was very deep grief. And rejection or fear of rejection. I think it's abandonment stuff. There's a lot of different things coming up, but it's really the grief. We're also experiencing, if you're very sensitive, if you're an empath or an intuitive of any sort, you are feeling this really strongly probably, and you may not even realize that what we're also experiencing is collective grief that's asking to be released for all of us, for the healing of the world and each other and our relationships. And um, a lot of it's really old wounds from childhood or past experiences, um, past lives, if you believe in that direction, and collective grief of just what we're experiencing in the world, and what a chaotic place it is, and it's bringing up a lot of shadows for people, and people are treating each other, in horrific ways, and it's this collective stress. What's really asking, and this is how it connects with that water energy in Cancer, and this is a perfect time, a beautiful time for healing in those ways, to really tap into what's going on or what needs to be released in your life. Um, I feel like there's shame there, and you may experience that. This is also about learning to listen to the language of the body. It's so beautiful and what it can offer. And and if we listen and tap in, we can kind of begin to learn to work with and release that energy. So even right now, you may, if this resonates with you, if this message resonates with you in any way, you may take a moment to just bring yourself into the body. Allow yourself this space to bring yourself into the body. Take a deep breath into the belly, all the way into the belly, and hold it there. And then release through the mouth. Maybe take a moment to take a few of those. Notice what's happening in the body. I'm sensing a sense of rage that's coming up. And rage has its place. It has to be processed and released, or it spills out all over everything else. What's going to be underlying that rage is going to be shame, sense of powerlessness, or that that we're not good enough, the ways that we have been rejected or maybe harmed by things in our lives, our experiences in childhood, past experiences in relationships, or past lives. Right now, for many of those who connect with the past life experience, specifically as healers of any type, there's a lot of fear coming up right now around the sharing of those gifts, or the things that are coming forward as we evolve and connect with soul wisdom, soul calling. And whoo, okay, that resonated with somebody, so just stop for a moment. Breathe into the heart. Allow the heart to expand. Allow that stagnant energy to be released. So some of you that are listening right now, that is the case for you. And there's something that just came up that felt a lot like anxiety. And that's the fear. That's the fear that's coming up of sharing gifts and not sharing gifts. It's the fear of what will happen if I do, what will people think, all of the things that also come up for me. It's just fear of rejection, like being shamed or people thinking you're weird, or whatever, evil. For me, it was like, you're sinful, you're evil, these gifts are evil. That's what I was raised with. And so that has always been a deep area for me to heal. And also the anxiety and grief that's coming up when we don't allow ourselves to live authentically, to be authentic, to share our gifts, to be who we are. When we try to fit ourselves into boxes that we don't belong in, then we know, our soul knows that we don't belong there. We're unhappy, we're lacking energy, we feel anxious and afraid, and these are all, things that come up for us. But but there's two sides to that. It's the fear that's coming up, the fear of sharing and not sharing, that if I share, this will happen. Or if I don't share, I know that something is calling to me and that I should be sharing it. I'm not, in whatever way is unique to you, because you are unique. You were put here for a purpose. You have beautiful, beautiful gifts to share with the world. And they will evolve as you evolve. But whatever that is, don't be afraid to share it. Don't be afraid to be authentic. Don't be afraid to say, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to share. especially for anyone who is creative or intuitive or a healer, or anyone who really walks outside those lines of kind of the norm, the status quo, and that's what their heart and soul call them to do. Everyone experiences that fear. Am I good enough? Is my work good enough? Are my gifts good enough? Are people going to think this? Are they going to say this? And yeah, they probably will. Some will. But you are going to attract your tribe. You're going to attract your people, those who are meant for you, those who are meant to receive your gifts and to also resonate with you. And you will receive beautiful, beautiful blessings from those relationships and partnerships and friendships. And that's the hard part sometimes is the relationships we have with people. Sometimes they just don't understand when we go through these phases and evolve, and maybe they're afraid or they just don't understand. And especially those who don't resonate with whatever it is that you're doing. If you're a black sheep or a rainbow sheep, butterfly, I don't know. I relate everything to animals, so I'd say it's more like a butterfly spirit. We're just like, flying. Or a bee. Actually, as I was beginning this and I was meditating to begin to like channel some messages, a bee flew and she started hovering around me, and that's always a signal for me, connecting with the feminine hive, feminine consciousness, and beautiful, beautiful. I love bees. Oh, did you hear her? She was just here again. Amazing. Oh, yes. Love them. Love, love, love bees. Yes. So, what you're releasing right now, whatever that is, it's full moon, so it's actually fruition, but it's bringing things to fruition. But what it also does is it illuminates the shadows, and which then in that illumination, in the waning of the moon, we can begin to really release and work through and process and heal those things. So whatever is coming up for you now, and the wind is blowing east and west, and it's shifting back and forth, and there's a reason for that. What is coming to fruition right now in your life, in your heart, in your relationships, even the things that are being released from your life, the beliefs, relationships, situations, whatever that might be, they are creating a space. It's the alpha and omega, the beginning and the end is right now. They are not separate. They're the dualities of life, what we are releasing. Any of this emotional chaos, any of this grief, any of this stuff that we're working through, it's being released for a reason. It's creating that space there to fill us with something more magnificent, more beautiful, that we will then bring to fruition in a different way. So it's the release and making way for a beginning at the same time, which is really, it's the life, death, rebirth cycle that we go through in the seasons of our soul, in the seasons of life, nature herself, the cycles of the moon, and all of those things have beauty, even in the moment when they don't seem like they do. I have had some very, very significant struggles recently, losses, and it is difficult. It's difficult. But if we can keep our eye and our hearts and our souls focused on the light ahead, that we know it's coming. This is hard right now, whatever you're going through. And I sense that many of you are going through some really, really difficult things in your life right now. And I want to bring you the love and hope and wisdom that whatever is happening right now, that it will pass. And there's light ahead. There's new growth. There's new birth. This is bringing you into alignment right now with your heart and soul, who you are, who you're meant to be in the world and what you are meant to share. My beautiful bee is back. I love it. The hive of consciousness, our collective consciousness, our unity to each other. So allow yourself to be with some of those things. Allow them to flow, allow them to heal, allow yourself to be with that discomfort, the temporary discomfort that maybe you have experienced or are experiencing right now. Allow it to flow. Trust in the fluid waters of life. The seasons, the cycles, they change in their own time, and when they're ready and when it's right. Divine timing, nature's timing, creation's timing. So if this resonates with you, beautiful. Take some time today to enjoy life, to be present. Even if you're going through hard times, sit. Be in stillness. Take the time to see the beauty around you, within you, life. Observe where you're at. Listen. Are you in your winter right now? Are you in your spring? Maybe you're in a spring. But are you in your winter? Maybe you're in both. Maybe you're in that in-between space, the liminal space of like balancing of what has just passed and what is going to be. It's about the dualities and balancing in the middle. What was, what will be, but right now is all we have. And to create that stillness, that peace, the abundance right now that will then translate into what we create in the future and who we become. So I love you, and if something in this message resonates with you, wonderful. If you are going through some of those challenging times, I send you love. Many of us are, and you're not alone. And it will shift. Offer yourself some space, some love, some extra care, and some understanding and acceptance that it's okay. However you're feeling right now is okay. So, I love you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your full moon. And I will talk to you soon.